Hi Virgo, this is your forecast for the month of December 2016. This is a general reading for Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising, or Virgo Moon. If you have a different rising or moon sign, you might find watching those videos helpful or more informative for you. Please remember that these are general readings, and so they may not apply to everyone. If you would like a personal reading that is specific to you, please visit my website at thealchemistastrologer.com, provided on the link at the upper corner. If you have visited my site before, you'll need to clear your browser's cache for the schedule button to function properly. And Virgo, let me just say thank you for taking some time out of your life to spend it with me. So this first week of December, you are moving on. There's something that is no longer serving your needs and you're seeking something else. Maybe you're tired of a situation. Maybe you're disappointed, or you're just ready to leave your past behind. Some of you are breaking ties with people that have been emotionally dependent upon you, or you're turning your back on some kind of difficulty. Some of you have just decided that your lifestyle no longer works for you, and you're moving on. You're making some changes. You want to put your energy and efforts towards something new. Now, for some of you, this is simply you're leaving home, or you're looking for something. You want to make some changes, whether that's your job, a relationship, a partnership, where you're living, but you're moving on. And you've gotten some understanding that's going to help reconcile any inner conflict that you had, to help you regain your clarity, your sense of purpose, your motivation. So this is a week where you want to take control of your life. You want to make some decisions about how your life will play out and where you're headed. And maybe you don't have a good handle on it yet. You're entering uncharted territory. But you just know that you want something different than what has come before. So this could be a week, if you've been conflicted at all inside, this is the week you pull that together. You resolve that. And you decide that you're going to push aside anything that's been keeping you from being your authentic self, living your truest life, holding your individuality back, and keeping you from making any progress. So this could be a week where it's very easy, because of your outlook, to either take charge of something or try to save something, or if necessary, again, to walk away from something, any situation, any relationship, or any bad habits that have not been serving you thus far. For others of you, you are disappointed, and you're trying to reconcile that, and you haven't yet. And part of it is that you really don't even know what you want, perhaps. And for you, you are moving through the dark, trying to figure out where you are, who you are, what you want. And so this is going to take a little time this week. And because of that, maybe you're being really hard on yourself. You feel like you should be somewhere different, or maybe you should have made more progress, or you made some choices, or you're wondering why you ended up in this position. So some of the things that are coming to light, some truths or some situations, are making you rethink some things, and it's taking you to emotional places that you weren't expecting. It's more challenging for you. And so you may decide to take this time period to be with yourself a little bit, to do some thinking, to do some rediscovery. But for many of you, this is about reaching some new horizon, pushing some boundaries. You want to make some changes. You're seeing things in a different light. You've got some new perceptions, and you want to go on a different path. But for some of you, this is just a need for you to wake up and do something. But it's, this is a good time of the year to reevaluate where you are and where you want to go. We're heading off into a brand new year. So this would be an excellent time to make those changes and to leave things behind that don't serve you, whatever they are. The second week, we have the King of Pentacles. This could very well be you, Or maybe this is someone else. This is earth energy. So Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, sun, moon, or rising, male or female. So if this is you or someone else, this is a king who's very practical. You know, he's no nonsense. There are no frills. He believes in providing for his family. He's concerned about business. He's very concerned about finances, and he doesn't want to waste his time. He needs to see a bottom line result. It needs to produce for him to be interested. And so this could be a week where you're very concerned with your finances, your stability, your security, making money, and you're most focused on the tried and true. You're not likely to branch off into something risky or do any kind of speculation that could possibly end up with a loss. The problem is sometimes, if this is you, you know, you don't actually voice your worries. You don't express them, and keeping all of that inside can take a toll on your health. You're very responsible, and you're very careful about how you're spending your money, and you expect other people too, the people around you, to be as conscientious about that. You may be even asking them to justify some of the purchases that they're making. But you're very conscientious, a hard worker. This could be a week where either you or you may have connections to someone who is financially secure. They could be dealing with land, real estate, property, business transactions, investments. You may be dealing with bankers, stockbrokers, financial advisors, or somebody who is a leader in their industry. Again, this King of Pentacles is a generous person of wealth, but he's not frivolous by any means. So this could be a week where you're very preoccupied with financial matters, whether that is providing for your family, building your business, protecting your assets. You could even be, you know, acting as a very loyal friend. But you're very ambitious. You may be working long hours, because you are concerned about skillful management and success and increasing your income through sound investments. Again, real estate transactions, ownership, really putting in persistent effort to climb up that corporate ladder. Now, if this is someone that you are connected to, now the king can also, you know, act in shadow ways where he's overly concerned with money, or he's being very chauvinist or self-indulgent or sexist or materialistic or opinionated, in which case obviously he's going to alienate the people around him. But this could be a week where you are thinking about settling down or solidifying some partnership. And so you're going to be very critical of your connections, the things that you get involved with, what you want to be associated with, and you're looking to align yourself with people who share common goals, common ambitions. This could be a week where you put out some kind of offer or proposal. Maybe you make a big purchase or a declaration of some sort, or you could be on the receiving end of any of that. There's also this week a need to have some discernment, though. You or someone else could be hiding their true self. And again, this king is not necessarily forthcoming with his feelings. He tends to keep his worries to himself. Some of you may be seeking a deeper truth. This could be you, or you're seeking a deeper truth about this king. And there may be a need to look under the surface for the truth. This card is cluttered with stuff. So there may be a need to get past the stuff to get to the core of something. Now, the third week you have this queen. This is the Queen of Swords. So this is the warrior queen. This is air energy. So we have Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, and this could be sun, moon, or rising, male or female. But if this is this queen's energy, she's very intelligent. She may be somewhat solitary. She's got very strong will, sharp wit, keen intellect, and she's a thinker. She knows how to speak. She knows how to communicate. She's fiercely independent, determined, career-minded, and she knows how to stand up for herself. Now, this could be someone who has experienced some kind of hardship. Maybe they're single, maybe they're a single parent, maybe they're a widow. She could be somebody who's uninvolved in parenting. She could be someone who is involved in an intellectual field. Maybe she doesn't have any children and she's very career-minded. Maybe she doesn't have a large interest in developing a love life. Because for her, love has got to make sense. And, you know, she's willing to stand toe to toe with someone else. Now, she's got a sharp tongue. You know, maybe she can be a little bit sarcastic, even come off as somewhat bitchy. But whatever she is, it's more than likely based on some past wound or loss or hardship that she suffered if she's behaving that way. So this could be a week where there is a desire to connect with somebody, win their affection or their approval, and in doing so, maybe there's some misrepresentation. Or if you connect to someone, it could be that this attraction, it's your collective wounds that are bringing you together, your past emotional disappointments, which may not necessarily be the best basis to build a relationship on. This queen tends to show up, you know, in times of separation or breakup. It could be that this is somebody, given her affect, you see her as a challenge, and so you decide you're going to go after her, and it's more about the challenge of gaining her affection or her approval than the reality of the relationship. Now, she is very good at making decisions, and so this could be a week where that is very important for you. You may have to be very aware and tune into your intuitive abilities, and this is going to give you that edge where you can avert some kind of disaster right at the last possible moment this week. So this is a week to be receptive to communication, ideas, making decisions, making sound decisions, and opening yourself up to opportunity, listening to your intuition, possibly moving in a new direction. And some of you will realize through a truth, whatever it is, that you have been running after some type of an illusion. Now, the third week, you have the Page of Wands. So this is a reading full of court cards. So maybe there's a family dynamic here. This could be a couple. This could be two parents that are divorced and a child, or some kind of partnership. So this page is a catalyst of change. This is a messenger that, you know, you may be getting some kind of exciting news, or maybe there's something that actually promotes a sense of optimism for you. This is somebody that may be, you know, an inspirational speaker, or something connected. There's something new in connection to a desire, ambition, some plans. Maybe you're getting some messages from far away, or there is something that's unexpected that happens. There can be a change in some plans. But this is a week where if you make some small changes that are necessary, they could really make some big differences for you and bring something better to you in your current relationship, or perhaps even your attitude or your environment. So small changes make big differences. So this is a week to take some kind of decisive action. So you may accept an invitation. Maybe you're going on a trip, or you're gathering. I mean, this is the holiday, so maybe you're getting together for a party. And in that environment, you realize that your social skills are on point, that you are in a better position to interact with others, that your powers of magnetism and attraction are stronger than maybe you had imagined. But some of you are going to feel like there's some small changes that you can't quite put your finger on, that you don't feel good about. Maybe your partner is responding in ways to you that are puzzling. You don't know what happened or where where things turned off. When you entered this new territory, you're at a loss as to why the relationship is moving in the direction that it is currently. So there could be some changes, some transformation taking place, possibly an ending, or you having to face some type of truth. And others of you will realize that you have indeed been waiting in vain. So again, this could be a parent-child interaction. This could be perhaps a teaching situation, or some relationship that has a great age or either a great role difference. Now, the underlying energy is the Five of Cups. So again, we get back to this sense of disappointment and moving on. The underlying energy for this month is this sense of loss or regret or some unhappy ending, perhaps experiencing some type of emotional letdown. Now, hopefully, you didn't lose someone through a bereavement, because the Queen of Swords can indicate illness. We have the card of moving on. And we have this card of loss and regret, grieving. But this is more likely to be that you've moved on from a situation, or there's disappointment in a relationship. Maybe you're trying to salvage something. There could have been some family issues, family problems, or maybe you were breaking up, or you were involved in a relationship that didn't play out the way that you had hoped. And you feel some sense of sadness or letdown about that. But just know that even though, you want to have an awareness of your history in order not to repeat it, but you don't want to stay chained to that. You don't want to let the past define who you are, or your present, or your future. So this is going to be a month, though, where you're evaluating. You're questioning a situation, whether that's what you're doing, how you're living, your goals, the way you interact with other people. You may be questioning yourself, what you've done in the past. You may be questioning whether the people that you're involved with really have your best interests at heart. So there's a lot of conflict between your head and your heart. And because of that, it's, you need to try to not be pessimistic. Now, a lot of times people, even though this is a joyous season, a lot of times people are depressed, or they feel melancholy. Maybe they're alone, or it's something about this season that can, bring out depression in some of us. So try to avoid that by creating something that you have, that you can look forward to, something positive. Some positive reward, or something in the distance, or something right now that you can find pleasure in, especially if you've had some kind of loss or setback or emotional disappointment. If you focus on the positive and rewarding yourself and giving yourself something happy to look forward to, you may suddenly surprise yourself in how things begin to flow more easily for you. It would be a mistake for you to remain cynical or pessimistic, because again, that could eat away at your health, your mental state. You need to try not to take on more than your fair share. Try not to carry the load that doesn't belong to you. You may feel a sense of responsibility to protect and provide for other people, but there comes a point where you have to think of self, and you have to realize that other people are also responsible for themselves. So this is a good month to put that in balance, realizing what are reasonable expectations, because the more you expect other people to do for you, you'll find that you end up having to carry that load anyway. And if you are expecting the worst, then that is what will manifest. We are continuously manifesting with our thoughts, our speech, our actions at all times. So please do not allow yourself to set up the next disappointment for yourself, because you'll just end up creating the very mood and atmosphere that you want to avoid. The lesson for this month really is becoming aware of using your powers of discernment, becoming aware of getting involved or re-involved with people, situations, or habits that on some level deep inside you already know are going to let you down. So this could be, a time where maybe it's important to turn your back on some relationships, or you may be so self-absorbed in, your own unhappiness that you are turning your back on some valuable connections. So again, try to reward yourself by, number one, speaking your truth. Recognize your own self-expression. Maybe do something creative, or maybe you need to develop more confidence. For some of you, you literally are turning your back on some key relationships by becoming oblivious or self-absorbed. So this month is going to depend largely on recognition that there's a possibility that some things have changed, or some situations have the possibility to change your life in some way. And you will be very focused on the things that mean a lot to you, that provide for your security and connect to your destiny. You'll also be struggling again with this conflict between your logic and your emotions. And there may be something very important to you that you want to manifest that almost seems impossible, but this could be a month where you make that possibility happen, depending on how you play things. So there's some kind of change in plans, there's an ambitious development, and there's also something emotional that's taking place. But nothing of any great consequence, because there are no major cards within this spread. There other people, though, largely figure in the outcome. So this is gonna, there's something about timing that's important. So you're gonna need to pay attention to the details, because something about the timing is critical in this situation. It may be that you need to act at a particular time or make a particular move at a certain time, and that is a critical factor. And also, this is about partnerships and moving on from your disappointment, or turning your back on situations and connections that don't serve you any longer. All right, Virgo, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I would greatly appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and kind comments. For those of you who have already offered your support, please know that I am grateful and committed to you. The more you engage with me, the more I enjoy what I'm doing. Have a wonderful holiday, and I look forward to speaking with you next month.